March 26th was the 25th anniversary of Eazy-E's death.
Yeah.
Uh, do you remember when that day
Oh
came
yeah.
across? And
Yeah, man. Of course I do. I remember it like yesterday. Like, what's crazy is I was talking to my old manager when I was in Atlanta just a few days ago, and he were telling me that how much Eazy wanted me to pretty much take his place. Like, because we came to Eazy through two of his friends. And what happened in the midst of us being on Ruthless at the time, him and his friends, who were like a subsidiary of Ruthless Records, they were starting their own thing. They had fell out with Eazy, and so it had us in like a contractual conflict. We was like stuck in contract for over a year, and we ended up on Def Jam. The same people who actually put out DJ Quick had a deal over at Def Jam. Greedy Greg, and a guy named Anti Lewis, and Eazy at that, even during all that time, he was still working with us. We were still touring with him, and he was still trying to get me back. He was still sending contracts to get me back on Ruthless because he really wanted me to succeed him at the company, and as the person that personified, NWA, Eazy-E. And this was my manager was telling me. He was telling me even when I was in county, because I had a bunch of cases, man. Unfortunately, I was young, and before the music came out, I had drug cases pending and things like that. And Eazy was actually showing up to my court dates, unbeknown to myself, unbeknownst to me. You know what I mean? Was sitting out there and talking to the judge on my behalf and all type of things. You know what I mean? Like, because I remember a few times he would tell me, like, on tour, he'd be like, you're gonna take my place. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna take my spot. And I just was like, I would get excited and laugh it off, but I didn't know how serious he was until my old music manager just told me the other day. I was like, damn. And it made me miss him even more. Like, he saw that much potential in me. I didn't even see that in myself. Yeah.
well, Eazy, what some people don't actually remember is that he actually had a very controversial stance on certain things.
Absolute.
The biggest of which was he actually supported one of the cops that
The
beat up
Rodney
Rodney
King.
King.
Yeah, well, he supported the cop that went against the other cops. The cop that pretty much turned the other cops, in pretty much, and said that they were the ones who went overboard with what they did with Rodney King. So it was one guy who opposed the other cops that he supported. And even when I met Eazy, when I saw that, Vlad, I was young, bro. I was still in high school. And when I saw him coming out the court building with this cop, coming down the stairs, I went and wrote a rap and dissed Eazy, right? So I knew that rap all up until the time I met him. And his friends who had actually brought us to him made me say this rap to him, bro, inside of his studio, because I was so against that. You know what I'm saying? And as an older person now, I understand what he was doing. You know, the stance he took, although I wouldn't have took the stance. You know what I'm saying? Irregardless, because we don't stand with the police. Who been oppressing us all these years. We just don't do that. But I understood, like, as an older person, I understood where he was coming from. And plus, Eazy was the type of person, he was into publicity. He would do a lot of things for publicity too. You know what I mean? To keep himself relevant, to keep Ruthless relevant, and to keep their record sales at a certain, number and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, I'm looking into the story right now. Apparently, Eazy started attending Rodney King's trial every day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he said, I went to the trial to support Rodney King because I'm curious. He said that the difference is that most people look at the video and they say 4 white officers were responsible for beating this helpless, innocent black man. Wrong. 3 white officers were responsible for beating Rodney King. The other officer, Theodore J. Briseno, happens to be Mexican American, and he tried to stop them.
Okay. So yeah. So he was Mexican, so that was another factor too. Yeah, so yeah, I understand what because Eazy was close to the Mexican community, man, all up until his death. And the fact that that one guy, him being a minority also, and then he went against the other 4, like, I can understand that. I can understand the sentiment, although I still wouldn't do it to this day, but I get where he coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this interview. He said it was the first time I ever met the man. He's talking about the Mexican cop, and all of a sudden, everyone in the media started spouting about how Eazy-E supports Presento. All I ever said as the press was that out of the four, he was the only one I saw who was trying to stop the beating.
Yeah.
I never said I came down to the court to support him. I came down to watch the trial because this case was about police brutality. Anybody who knows anything about me knows how I feel about police brutality.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, not everyone took this, took the support very well.
Hmm.
Willie D, who's actually a good friend of mine,
From Ghetto
uh,
Boys.
from the Ghetto Boys, during this time, this is 93 or 92, said Eazy-E is a sellout. He got
Yeah,
everyone
I
all
could see. I felt the same way. Like I'm sure
right. He
most
said,
people, yeah, I'm sure most of us at that time probably felt that way, Vlad. You know, coming from where we come from, yeah, I saw it the same way. Absolutely.
right. Willie D said he got everyone all riled up about the police and justice with the song F the Police, but evidently he wasn't sincere. I guess maybe he should have called the song F being broke because that's all Eazy-E seems to care about. He ain't about nothing but money.
Yeah, that was an angered that was a angered infused statement from Willie D, which he does that quite often even today when he sees things on the internet. You know what I mean? But yeah, I understand the sentiment, bro. Like I do. And Easy at the time, he was a businessman, and you just got to look at how he even went to the White House. He paid for some dinner or some stuff like that and went to the White House and got all of this millions of dollars worth of press, for something he paid 40 grand for. So he was always looking for opportunities like that too. You know what I mean? That's a thing I know about him. I think he learned that from Michael Jackson, like how to pull publicity stunts and get, press and stuff like that.